We're going to go ahead and go anyway. Let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt Ellis. I'm the director of Key Club International. Been here just about 2.5 years, I think. So glad to see you again. If this is not your first time on these, we do one in the fall and one in the spring. Or one in October, one in February. So we'll highlight today some resources coming up for you guys that you might find helpful as your year continues to wind down. District conventions and electing new officers and all kinds of things like that. So we will just get through that. I'm going to hold the rest of our staff introductions and have people introduce themselves to you as they come on. So we have different people taking different parts of this presentation. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So Laura, if you'll take us to the next one. Yeah, so let me turn this thing over to you right away. I'll just get out of the way here and pass it over to Michelle Studi Campbell, and she'll introduce herself and talk a little bit about our mid-year growth report.
Right. Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Studi Campbell. I'm the executive director for Kiwanis Youth Programs and our service leadership program. So thank you all so much for what you do. It's incredibly important because without our advisors, we don't have our clubs and programs. So a big thank you. I also know time is precious. And so thanks for giving up a bit of your time tonight to be with us. And so, hey, Laura, can you go back one slide? Oh, never mind. Go forward. All right, so something that our team has really been rallying around the last several years is taking a look at all of our programmings and making sure that the curriculum has been updated, that we're offering the latest and greatest that fit with what students' needs are and schools' needs, and that we're really creating value for our members and our volunteers. We also, much like tonight's meeting, have invested our time into more consistent communication and outreach. These advisor webinars didn't exist more than like a year ago. We also have really upped our outreach to our district administrators, our students, and all of our volunteers. And so those two together equal greater growth and retention. And with that, I'm excited to share with you where we are kind of mid-year. So hope everybody has their magnifying glass or like their Monopoly monocle. So these are current stats from February. And for those of you who haven't seen this before, I love numbers. And I have asked the team, we put together every single week by week, a real-time comparison going all the way back to 2018, 2019, when no one knew what the coronavirus was, through today. And we track kind of our percentage back to that pre-pandemic number, and certainly our growth year to year. And so I'm excited to show that Key Club is about 8% up over last year in both clubs and members. And if you do the math, there's usually one more line in there, but we're about 8% below 2018, about 10 to 8%, keeps bobbling back and forth, which is good. That shows promise for us being able to eclipse that 2018, 2019 number this year. And we're still confident that we can reach that. And so one thing that gives us so much excitement about the future is if you follow that line over to new charters. Last year was the best year for new charters for Key Club and all of our Kiwanis Youth programs in the last decade. This year, we're up another 13% on new charters. And so that just shows the excitement for the program. It's not just old clubs growing, we have new clubs joining as well. And so thank you all to each of you on this call who have helped start new clubs and grow existing clubs. We're very appreciative of that work. Next slide. Just real quick, I know many of you were instrumental in helping us gather data and information last year when we launched our Key Club survey. It's the first time we had launched a comprehensive survey since 2018, 2019. Just want to go over the results, kind of some high points, because these are so incredibly telling of what we do. 94% of our students agree we're fulfilling our mission. 98% would recommend Key Club to a friend. And by those numbers, they are. 92% agree that Key Club offers a variety of leadership opportunities for members of all skill sets and interests. This one hits really close to home, and that's that 94% of our students report feeling safe at our Key Club events. Not every extracurricular activity can say that. And 92% believe that Key Club has had a positive impact on their high school experience and culture. Our programs work. We just need more of them, right? And so hopefully this is what you're seeing mirrored in your school communities as well. But our students and advisors report a high rate of student satisfaction. Again, our students feel safe, welcomed, and wanted, which is actually a huge issue in a lot of high schools today. That is not the case everywhere. Our students gain confidence, boost self-esteem, and learn collaboration skills. All of this came out of these surveys that we did. And our programs provide a critical outlet to learn leadership skills and learn about their community and their world. So again, thank you for your role in helping make Key Club such an outstanding program for 99 years. Back to Matt.
All right, everybody, just want to give you a few words about conventions here. So the first up is district conventions. Just want to be sure that everybody is aware of their district conventions. I know some of you who are new advisors, may be still getting your feet wet a little bit. So I just want to make sure that you know what a critically important thing this is for your members to attend. For many of them, it's their first step to leadership positions beyond the club level. And they often, our trustees tell us that the first time that they really heard about the international trustee position or considered running for president or vice president was when they went to district convention and started seeing some of the additional opportunities outside of the club level. So just want to make sure you're encouraging your students to attend district convention, and you can find all of that information on your district website or by reaching out to your district administrator. The next thing, excuse me, the next thing is the international convention this year is going to be July 10th through the 14th in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. So James, who I was talking to earlier, lives in Tennessee. That's not very far away. You can easily get down to Georgia, I hope, and I hope we'll get to see you there. I want to play just a really quick video that we have for you. If you want to share this with your students, you can play this and hopefully get them excited about convention.
Just wanted to quickly stop share so I could adjust the settings. Just 1 second. All right.
We're seeing yours.
The Key Club
We were seeing your.
Not the right screen, huh?
That was not. I think you just needed to play from current slide, maybe.
Sure.
There we go.
All right. Let's try it again.
International Convention is just around the corner, and we want you to be a part of this extraordinary experience. This year's convention is in Atlanta, Georgia, July 10th through 14th. We're inviting you to join us in a city filled with the spirit of the Olympic Games. The Key Club International Convention provides a unique space to meet members from all over the world. It's a perfect way to exchange ideas and jumpstart your impact in your school and community. Take part in workshops that sharpen your leadership skills. Get fresh ideas for service projects. Hear from inspiring speakers. Champion your district's leaders. Showcase projects from your club and district. And go for the gold in Key Club contests. Plus, explore the city. Check out Atlanta's rich history. Visit iconic landmarks like the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Site, Centennial Olympic Park, and much more. It's a win-win. So, will you join us July 10th through 14th? Go to keyclub.org/convention to learn more.
Yeah, so there are two ways to register for the International Convention. The first and probably the primary way is through your district tour. Each district typically brings a group of students, and depending on whether you are from fairly close by or from far away from the international site, you may travel there in a bus, you might take a flight, but each district arranges their own tour, and they often, especially if it's a bus tour, they will stop at different cities along the way, maybe take in some museums, do some activities with the students. They might show up to Atlanta a few days early and tour things like the Civil Rights Museum or the Coca-Cola Museum. They might stay a few days later, see the world-class Georgia Aquarium that's there. So there's all kinds of things in Atlanta to do that are right next to the hotel. It's a great time. Again, you would just connect to your district newsletter, your website. If you can't find any information, contact your district administrator. Every district should be making plans to bring some students to the icon. The second option is if the district tour doesn't work for you for whatever reason, your students have some internships or you're just not able to join the tour for whatever reason, you can also have students show up on their own. They would arrange their own travel and hotel. They register directly through Key Club International for that. And then we would, ideally they would bring their own chaperone, but if they don't have their own chaperone, then we could connect them with a chaperone on site who would be responsible for them. So with that, there would probably be a little bit more communication between you and I about just how exactly we're getting your members there. I can tell you right now, we are in the middle of interviewing for interns for the international convention. And one thing that Laura and I are hearing over and over and over again is just what a transformative experience attending the international convention was and how it really changed their lives. And so I know that, this is a worthy way to spend your time and your energy and your money. So please consider bringing students to International Convention. It is really an amazing opportunity, and they get to help elect their next generation of leaders. They get to actually vote for the president, the vice president, their trustees, and it's just really a wonderful experience. We're doing everything we can to make the convention better than it's ever been. So I do hope that you'll consider joining us. All right, Michelle, you want to talk about the birthday?
All right. Well, as I mentioned a little earlier, we are cruising towards our 99th birthday. It'll be this March 23rd. Shares a birthday with someone else we know, Mr. Matt Ellis. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the birthday campaign. Real quick, just light up your little electronic hand in Zoom if you participated in our 98th birthday campaign, if your club did. It's just launched last year. It was new. Got any takers? All right. Well, this will be a fresh opportunity for people to get involved. And so, Laura, can you click ahead? I'm not. Okay, we'll go back then. So for our 99th birthday campaign, we are asking all of our clubs to pitch in and as a club raise, thank you, Kim, for raising your hand, to raise $99. We are asking Kiwanis clubs to match this $99 as well. And we have a bunch of fun fundraising ideas that are going out to all the clubs to help make this happen. If you do participate and make a donation towards the Youth Opportunity Fund, we will you get a banner patch that is a fun little birthday cake logo. Every club who participates will be entered into a drawing for their district to have a birthday party complete with cake at the International Convention. And we have some other fun incentives. And of course, just, pride of participation in a little friendly competition. And so this year we're asking every Key Club to raise $99 to support the Youth Opportunities Fund and to make sure Key Club has another strong 99 years after this one. And we're asking our Kiwanis members, clubs to match that as well. So the 99th is really kind of a kickoff for the 100th. We have a lot of really fun activities going on. If you're from the New York area, we have a fundraiser with one of our wonderful past Key Club International presidents. That's Craig Melvin. That event is on March 21st. It's in New York City. If you want information about tickets or how to participate, just ping me in the chat. I'll get you my email and get you the information. Additionally, we have launched a new fundraising circle called the 1925 Club For a donation of $1,925, you can be part of this Key Club fundraising circle. You'll be invited to special events. You'll have inside information about the 100th, including a special limited edition lapel pin, a coffee table book, and more. And so we're just getting started on the 100th. We know we're going to have a lot of fun events and opportunities for people to celebrate and commemorate our centennial. So very excited about that, and happy to take any questions in the chat.
And I think, Michelle, I think we have a few slides on that at the end with some of the alumni events as well. So we can revisit that at that time. All right, Laura. So now we have some partner updates. We have 3 big activities coming up with some of our partners. The first is with the Thirst Project. We have the program called Key Club Walks. That's going to be for the month of April, where students can raise money to help provide clean drinking water to areas that currently do not have it. So you can look for that information coming soon. In May, we will be partnering with UNICEF on a variety of what they call athons. So it might be a dance-a-thon, you know, all kinds of different things like that. So we're working to put that program together right now, so you can look for that. And then also in May, our mental health partner, Erica's Lighthouse, will have Mental Health Awareness Month and a Positivity Pledge. And so some of these events, I think the UNICEF-a-thons and the Erica's Lighthouse, you could probably even combine them into a specific event, but really just want to put these on your radar so that you know that these things are coming up in the calendar, and you can plan to have your club participate in April or May. I know when it gets to April 1st and you say, okay, what are we going to look at for April? And, you know, you haven't really looked ahead, it can be difficult to get those events jump started. So just want to try to put this on your radar, make sure you're aware that these events are coming up and you can plan to participate. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Michelle Shilton.
All right. Hello, everyone. Michelle Shilton. I am the program director for Kiwanis Youth Programs. That includes Key Club and our other service leadership programs, you know, CKI, K-Kids, Builders, and Action. I am helping tonight with some information on our education and training. So we have a number of different opportunities. We offer advisors, and we do them in different styles and different ways so we can try to reach all learners. We have a number of live webinars like tonight. We also know that your DAs do webinars. You might also have training through your governor-elect and your district secretaries. We have a variety of those. We also have some in-person. So you might be attending the International Convention, and we have some special tracks for advisors. We also do trainings through GATSE, or even your districts or your clubs might do some trainings. And then we have just some online demand classes, and we're super excited to share some new ones, but we still have our youth protection training on there. We have the Global Leadership Certificate, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. But if Laura goes to the next slide, I really want to focus on our newest program is the Advisor 101 course. And this is brand new. It's on the Crowd Wisdom site, which is where you also find the Global Leadership Certificate. And this course is really designed to onboard new advisors, but also increase the knowledge and understanding of our current advisors. And maybe just refresh some of the things that you think you know, but you're not exactly sure what, you know, you've always wondered what that acronym stood for. So maybe it's a way to just dig a little bit deeper into those. All right, Laura. And then this is just an example of kind of what the dashboard looks like of the 3 courses that we're offering. It's the SLP introduction course, which is for all advisors across all club lines. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of really what it's like, or what is the service leadership programs. And then we have our Key Club Advisor 101 Part A, which really focuses on kind of the big picture of Key Club and what does student-led mean and what is high impact service, kind of like our fundamental pieces of Key Club. And then the third one is the Key Club Advisor Part B. So I can go just a little bit more. And Laura showed you an example of it's interactive. So there's some quizzes and questions in there that you might be able to answer and check your learning as you go. And then the next one is the Part A, as I mentioned before. And this is really, again, what does student-led mean? There's some videos. You might even see some avatars of people that you might recognize on this call. If you do dig in and you can figure out who someone might be, let us know. And then part B is really the day-to-day checklist of, what is happening in Key Club throughout the year so that you can kind of keep track. So we're super excited and very, very proud of these courses, and we look forward for you to access them. So one of the ways you can do that is through the MUC, which is, or the Kiwanis Connect. And on your page, you click here to access service leadership programs. And so it's pretty simple once you get into the MUC. Now, sometimes people have a little bit of trouble getting in, and some of the things that we know are challenges for that is that maybe your email address that you're using isn't the one that is on file, or maybe your name isn't even listed as the advisor. So sometimes those are some of the reasons why you may not be able to access it. If you do have a problem, you can just email the helpline at Kiwanis.org or slpcertificate@gmail.com. We have a couple different ways that we can help you access. But we are very excited about this new course and really look forward to hearing some feedback once you get into it. I'm going to go ahead then and start talking about youth protection. I'm filling in for someone else tonight. So Michelle and Matt and Laura, if there's something else that you want to add to this, just feel free. But really, youth protection is very important to us. We have three things that we really focus on. The policy and trainings, our background checks, and then the abuse prevention courses, which is through Presidium. So those are really the three things that we ask you to pay attention to is our policies, making sure you have your background checks and your courses. And we'll talk a little bit more about those. As a student, being involved in a student organization, we have some obligations to our youth that we work with. And that's really also paying attention to peer-to-peer abuse, not just the adult to youth. And so really identifying any concerning behaviors that you might see, really monitoring and supervising youth, reporting emergencies or red flag incidents, and of course, modeling safe and appropriate behaviors. Many of you work in schools, have a lot of this training already, but it's just something that's really important to Kiwanis, and we take it seriously, and we want to make sure that everyone is following our policies. So if you can go to the next slide, Laura. So just a little bit more about the policy and training. We do have a policy on the website, and we ask you to review it annually every year. It talks about chaperone ratios, social media policy, transportation. It's really important. And we ask that every year that you take a look at that. We also will remind you about that in October when we do Youth Protection Month. We also have a great website with all of the information that you can find. It's Kiwanis.org/youth protection. It has a training slide deck you could go through. It even has like a recording and audio that you can listen. And then we also really work really hard to educate folks through some courses in which we're talking about the Presidium courses. And we ask advisors to complete 3 of those, and then our DAs and Kiwanis advisors have to complete 6 of those. And I'll get a little bit more into that. And then, of course, we do our in-person trainings. So this next slide is a very handy slide that tells you your role and your position and what training and how many you should be. So if we take a look at the faculty advisor, so you're not a Kiwanis member, but you're just a faculty advisor from a school, we do ask that you take the 3 courses, the 3 Presidium courses, that you have your background check, and that you review the YP policies annually. Now, we do allow for faculty advisors at schools who do not leave their school building at all to use their school background check, but the moment that you leave the building, you have any transportation, you do a service project offsite, you have to be able to have that Kiwanis background check. So I recommend that you go ahead and do it so that throughout the whole year, if something comes up and you want to do something special with the students, it's already taken care of and you don't have to worry about it. But you do need to review the policy annually, and you do need to do the 3 courses on Presidium. So the next,
Michelle,
sorry.
can I just really quickly here, a couple of questions, and maybe Michelle Sudi would be better to answer these in the chat. How long is the police background check good for? And then how long are the certificates? I assume that means the Presidium courses. How long are those good for?
Yeah, everything is good for 2 years.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yep, Matt, just stop me. I'm don't have all my the chat open, so I appreciate that. And then the other really important thing is that we want to let you know that we have a youth protection hotline that is for you to use for incidents. Now, of course, if there's a life-threatening emergency or something is really illegal, call 911, right? But if you have something that is abuse, inappropriate behavior, some sort of major policy violation or suspicion that something has occurred, this hotline is on 24/7 and it's staffed by professional, abuse. I don't know what their, if they're social workers or what their actual title is, but they're professionals in this area and they are able to take those calls and then they tell you the next steps. They pass the information along to us. So it's really important. This is a phone number I would make sure all your students have access to because they often, can use it to call if they see something or something's happening to them. So do keep that number handy for your students. You can talk a little bit more about the background checks. And this is where you might have some questions like the 2 years and it's you need to have it renewed. We recommend that you give us 2 weeks. So if you do need your background checked updated and you have an event coming up, give us 2 weeks to have that done. Now, of course, if you're international, that can take up to maybe 4 to 6 weeks. It just depends. Many districts cover the cost of the background check. Some do not. Sometimes you have to pay. So it really is a district by district piece. And just a note, if there's any California residents, there is a brand new process this year. There's a lot of information on our website about that. And there has been email communication to the leadership in California to help get that information out. So that's a new thing. I'm going to go ahead and skip through these frequently asked questions just in the essence of time. I do want to talk a little bit about this idea of culture of care. And this is really something that we focus on within Key Club, is that we really want to create this culture for our students where they learn how to be an upstander, they know how to take care of themselves and locate mental health resources. We partner with Erica's Lighthouse, who provides us with a lot of great resources. We want to help them understand healthy communication, the respect for boundaries, and more. And we do this through a variety of ways. So I'll let Laura go to the next slide. As I mentioned, Erica's Lighthouse is one of our partners. They have a lot of incredible resources on their website, great tools, and we just really want to make sure that your students have access to these things. And then I'm going to move to the next slide. And these are some great email addresses if you need help with any of these things. If you need help with your background checks, you have youth protection training questions, or if you are looking for this information, it's on our website. And we'll get these slide decks out to you later as well. So all this information will be in there. So I'm going to pause just a second and see if there's any questions about youth protection, because I know sometimes that draws some questions.
Yeah, sure. Michelle, I've got one since I'm in California and have to deal with a LifeScan.
Yes.
What's that? Is Victorians then is no longer an issue with the CNH district or California?
Yeah, so we have everything all set up. We were in compliance on January 1st. So do you need the information on how to connect with the LifeScan?
Well, I've already got my LifeScan.
Thank you.
It's just a matter, with the information on like the 2-year certificates versus that, and then the courses.
Yeah, so the courses that we have in Presidium, once you complete those are all, every 2 years the training gets updated, but those do meet the requirements that are part of the state of California's new youth protection law. So you're all covered there. The training will be every 2 years. We're working with the state of California to better understand Arrest Watch and what it will be looking for to determine the length and of our background checks in the state of California.
The one thing about the background checks, some of us who are advisors get a list of who cleared. But if
Mhm.
you're not an advisor, you don't get a list. And so that's become a big issue with a lot of people when they don't know if they've cleared or not. Now, I know one thing, you can go into the muck and find it, but you may want to think of some way so that all members can figure out if they've cleared or not.
Yes, so they absolutely can go in the membership update center in the portal there to find out if they've cleared. They should be getting an email that indicates their status and if they're good or not for the check.
No, there's no email being sent. As I said,
Okay.
I know because I get lists as a regional advisor and a club advisor, and I figured out myself to look at the muck, but
Yeah, and district administrators have access to all of that information and should also be sharing that with their advisors.
no, the advisors get it, but it's the non-advisor members.
Right. Well, as you can
People.
imagine, well, people have access to their own personal if they've cleared or not, but we don't want to make the list available to all of Kiwanis.
Right, but you may want, I'm just saying is you may want to at some point let people know how they can go online and find it. I mean, I figured it out, and I've been telling people in my club.
All right, thanks.
And then I see
and of
Michael
course the club secretaries have all of that. Yep. Mr. Moss.
Yeah, hi. Real quick question. On the sites, I do know, and I've already gone through this, that that there are sites all over the areas to have your live scans done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if there's a way to have the school districts themselves that have that live scan capability added to the pool of sites?
We can look into that, but we do have a contract with a provider in California, and it's their sites that we're sending people to. And we have an agreement with them to get the information, and they're part of the Department of Justice approved sites.
Okay.
But we can see about expanding that.
Well, that would be great because that would help out tremendously, because we would go to the same sites that we are actually participating in, and give us a little bit more flexibility.
This has been a major learning curve for the Department of Justice in California, as well as those of us who don't live in California and are learning this law. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I see Charlotte Owens.
Hi. Yes, thanks so much. Hi. I just wanted to ask, just for clarity, why is it, to your comment about that you would not want to publish the list of names of people who have been cleared and checked? I just, for clarity, wanted to know why is that? Number one, because it doesn't seem like you're saying anything negative about those people, and B, number two, because I'm here in New York State and heading into our convention, which is now just a few weeks away. I can say it would have made. I'm not directly an advisor, but I'm one of the board representatives for the state for New York District, and it would have made our lives so much easier in terms of connecting the kids with possible chaperones to know who has been cleared. And I could imagine, especially when the background checks are valid for 2 years, a bunch of people, of course, are going to have to get it this year for the first time. And then for next year, my goodness, it would be so nice if we had a quick at-hand list of every mom, dad, Kiwanian who still has a valid check from the New York District, and boom, 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 we could encourage those specific people to go to the convention.
I hear what you're saying. And the district administrators, and your assistant, right? So you've got John Goldstein, you've got Jason Steiner. They have access to all of that information. What we don't want to do is put people's information on blast, and just, for people's privacy. Not everybody wants to be on a list that has their background check done. It just leads to more questions. We want to protect people's privacy, and we just don't publish those lists broadly. But people who need the information have access to it. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I think I've got the questions answered in the chat here. The most recent one is the status of the background check and the Presidium certificates are available on the member page. I believe that is correct. I think on my own, I see my background check status in my Presidium courses. So
yes, and you will be given reminders as your items expire, and give all the opportunity in the world to get those renewed before they expire. And then we really do start sending you lots of emails once they're expired, even more.
All right.
And just real quick, I wanted to follow up with Mr. Carey on the notification. Part of the glitch in the system right now is the old Personify system we're on has limited capabilities in notifying people. We do, when we move to the Salesforce platform in the near future, that should be more automated to let people know when they've cleared. So, Michelle, are you talking about the GLC?
I'm going to, yeah. So one of those acronyms again that maybe you've heard, but you're not really sure what that means. So the Global Leadership Certificate is the largest investment that we've had in our Key Club resources. So this is really a great resource for your students. It's really a training, online training module that dives into over 39 courses. We'll have another one here soon. Really that students can learn at their own pace. Gosh, there are just all kinds of topics. The new one that will be coming will be a facilitation in a few weeks. Things like running for office. Sorry, anyone running for office or presenting at DCON, we could really benefit from some of these courses. They learn lots and lots of topics. And I think there's, I don't know if you can see probably can't see the exact ones, but there's an image of of what's on Crowd Wisdom of the different courses that you can take. Go to the next slide. You know, one way that's as advisors that you can use the Global Certificate is, you know, maybe you use it as a course that you do as your whole club together. Like you take the time to get everyone logged in and say, hey, we're going to do this course together. So let's all, you know, get logged in, start it together and do it as a group. Maybe you have everyone do it before they come to their next meeting and you have a follow-up discussion. You know, maybe you all do the strategic plan course and then you work on your strategic plan together. You know, maybe it's more like a book club. So it's really a great way to allow for group participation. And also sometimes by just doing it as a group, you really get everyone excited about it and then they can go and dig in. There's really lots of great courses and, you know, there's videos and there's some interactive, like answer some questions, or is a little bit of assessment with it. So it's a really nice piece that you can also use as a club. So a kind of new, it's the second year that we're going to be doing this, is our masterclass at convention. So we are very excited to offer this the second time. So it's kind of an in-person to level up what was on the GLC. So after you have, and I have to make sure I get this right, after you have taken a certain number of courses by May 31st, you are eligible to be a part of masterclass. And when you register for convention, you kind of let us know that you're going to do this. There's going to be some really fun incentives and benefits, like a t-shirt, probably some other things. We haven't quite nailed all that down yet. But
so, hey, Michelle, real quick, people have to complete 20 courses. So that's about 50% of the Global Leadership Certificate. We do provide a stipend to help offset the cost of convention. Several of your meals are included that are not included in traditional registration for convention, and certainly a t-shirt, a lot of recognition, and fun and special training. And so really just a great way to kind of capstone the project. And then super quick, if you have not heard of the GLC and want kind of more of a demo to learn how you could use it in your club, just pop your email in the chat and we'll get back to you and get you that information.
Definitely. All right. Let's see the next slide. Yeah, sometimes, again, it's the same idea with the advisor training. Sometimes an email just isn't in the system. For some reason, the student forgot which email they offered when they registered for, you know, paid for Key Club. And so sometimes it's just a matter of getting the roster updated in the, for the Global Leadership Certificate so they can, but if you have questions or concerns of technical issues, you can email slpcertificate@kiwanis.org. All right, I think that's it for the GLC.
I'll take it from here. So my name's Laura Holloway. I get the chance to talk about the Youth Opportunities Fund grant tonight. It's another fun, big benefit to Key Clubs. It is a grant that is provided by the Kiwanis Children's Fund for Key Clubs to increase the impact of your service projects. So think things like your hygiene kits, literacy kits, things where your Key Club members are doing a service and they need an extra boost for resources and funds to make that impact happen. So the grants range in from amounts of $250 to $2,000 US. And funds are basically given straight to the club. Club does their service project, the club reports about it, and that's about it. So it's a pretty straightforward grant. And there's two opportunities. The next one is coming up really soon. So the deadline for this year is March 1st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And clubs need to apply online. They can go to keyclub.org/YOF to get that application. In April, you find out if you get a grant or not, and then you do your service project. And then the following year, so 2025, you need to submit a final report. So that just shows what you did with the grant. Report out how it went, and that's about it. So as advisors, you play a critical role in the success of these clubs getting a grant. So I just wanted to make sure that you all see a few points that really are important when we're looking for success with these types of projects. There needs to be a really clear needs assessment, and that has to be transmitted in the grant application. We need to know that you're in the community doing things to figure out what are the issues and what can your club do to help. You need to have a really organized timetable and budget. And I think those are really things that as advisors, you can really help with. Some quick do's and don'ts for advisors when it comes to this grant. Do make sure you plan ahead. I know students don't oftentimes think ahead, but that's why we have advisors. Help them with the research, help them with that community needs assessment, walk them through that. Do anything that you can do to help with the budget and partnering up. Those are some of the big things. What you don't want to do is do the entire application yourself. You're side by side with your club officers applying for this. And just basically don't let them miss any of those really important pieces that are going to paint a picture for what your project is really like. Things that you can help with as well are thinking kind of outside of your school or your community, trying not to use lingo that we may not understand when reviewing the applications. So that is basically the YOF grant. I'll take any questions if you have them. You can unmute or use the chat. All right.
No questions in the chat, Laura, so I think we're good.
All right. We'll keep going here. So it is that time of the year. If you are an advisor, you're thinking about club elections and district elections, hopefully. So I wanted to just take a quick note real briefly to point out some resources that are here for you as a Key Club advisor. You have an advisor guide that gives you kind of the rundown on elections. You've got a meeting kit. It's just, if you're a first-time advisor, search for this meeting kit on keyclub.org, and it will help you help your officers walk through in typical club elections. And you all have or should have a lieutenant governor in your division. That's a Key Club member who's dedicated to helping you through all of it. So be sure you ask your lieutenant governor for help as well throughout this process, especially if you're new. Once you get your officers elected, you need to add them to your dashboard on your club roster. So there's a specific spot for all of the club officers. And we want to make sure we get their information so that they can get plugged in and help and start leading the clubs. So that also entails officer retirement, sad, but it happens, or it should happen. And then, of course, the fun induction and training. You also have plenty of resources. That advisor guide that I had mentioned that's on keyclub.org. It has literally a script that you can follow and read through if this is your first time doing any officer retirement or induction. You've got it right there in the advisor guide. If this is your first time training officers on what their duties are for their tasks, be sure you're pointing them to the guidebooks. Don't forget that it's all new to the officers, so they really need an introductory guide, and that's what we have here. And these are all in digital format, so they can't lose them on keyclub.org. So any questions at all about any of these resources to get you through these next few months?
The election should be done by when?
Elections should be done before your district convention. That way, if an officer candidate doesn't get a club role, they can try for a district role as well. And then they can also attend the training that your district conventions often provide in workshops for officers. If you're not in a district, then you can play that by ear according to your school and your the rhythm of your area. Any other questions? All right. Well, you know what's after all of this? Graduation. Michelle?
Yeah, that's right. A lot of you have seniors. I have one in my house as well. So I know it's a busy time of year for everyone with your seniors. We have a couple things we just want to share specifically to your seniors. Go ahead, Laura. A big one is that they can join Circle K International when they move on to college. So one more slide, Laura. Yeah. So there's a website on Circle K's page that helps you find a club. So many times they'll move to their university and they'll miss Key Club and they want to do something that's similar and they want to stay connected. So they can, early in the fall, usually there's tabling events at colleges and universities, but they can also go online and find a club at the school. And maybe there isn't a club. And we've had lots and lots of Key Club alumni who don't have a CKI at their university and they start one. It's a great experience for them. And I will also say, it's a really great experience for some of your Key Club members who maybe haven't taken leadership roles yet in their district or their club. And this is another great opportunity for them to try to gain some more leadership skills. You know, there's still the idea of scholarship, there's fellowship and service, and of course, our leadership and opportunity to be more involved with Circle K International. So, you know, just something to continue to share with your students. I will also suggest reaching out to your district and finding out if maybe one of the district leaders could present to your club about Circle K International. We also will be planning a senior night in April. The date is still being finalized, so look for more information where we invite seniors and Key Club to learn more about college in general, and then also tell them a little bit about Circle K International and how they can get involved. All right, next. The other important thing is, you know, everybody wants to have fun bling when they're walking down for graduation, and Key Club also provides lots of that. I would suggest that you get your orders in early. We have a website. Our store is store.kiwanis.org. You know, sashes, patches, cords, medallions, all kinds of really fun stuff. This is a great thing to give your seniors as a parting gift, you know, something to share with parents if they're interested in purchasing these. So just want to make sure you know that we have a lot of fun stuff to help your senior grads as well. And I think we have one more topic.
All right, Michelle Studi, we're ready for you to talk about the Alumni Network.
Great. So what follows graduation? Alumni Network. And so we launched the Key Club Alumni Network about a year ago. We started with CKI, and you can move forward, Laura. This is open to our graduating Key Club members, of course, and others. So we have hundreds, millions of Key Club alumni after 99 years. And, you know, we average about 200 to 250,000 students a year. And that's a lot of people that we want to stay connected with. And in the past, we didn't. We just kind of moved on. It was over. It was a great memory, and that was it. So today we have an alumni network. It is all online. It helps students. There's a directory. So if you're going off to college in New York City or LA and your network was here in Indiana, you have a built-in network when you travel. You can connect with Key Club alums. There's job postings. We're working on internships next. We have alumni meetups, virtual meetups, as well as in person. And you really get to reconnect with a special part of your high school chapter. And so there's a little bit of fundraising that's starting for Key Club, but really the emphasis is not fundraising. It's more to connect this network of millions of like-minded, service-minded leaders to connect, to continue to make an impact in this world and on the organization that gave them back so much. And yes, we started with Circle K. There is a Circle K alumni that actually got kickstarted before Key Club, and we'll make sure you have that info. So this is just a little bit about what the network looks like. We'll get everybody you see keyclubalumni.kiwanis.org there at the bottom. We have a cool QR code here coming up you can snap. Again, any Key Club member who is currently a senior and at least 18 years old, any former Key Club member, and of course, we're opening this up to our advisors and district administrators as well. And so if you want to take a minute and snap that code and get signed up, we'd appreciate it. And we can get the CKI information out to everyone as well. Thanks, Michelle. All right. So, and then this is just, you know, because we love a little friendly competition. Our friends in CNH, and we know we've got a few of you on the call. You have the highest number in our Key Club alumni, followed closely, kind of sort of closely by Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, New York. There's the rest of them. We just launched this about a year ago, so it's really still gaining traction, and we're kind of beta testing in the beginning. But we'd love it if we added 40-something people tonight as you click on that QR code and join us. And so did everybody have a chance to get the information on how to sign up?
We'll also have these in the slides that we're going to post for you soon.
Yeah, if you could repost that QR code, that'd be great.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
QR code back up.
Yeah,
there.
we're just going to hover on this for a little bit while you guys get this. And I am struck tonight as I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary with Kiwanis. I've been in this role, I guess it's my 6-year anniversary with Kiwanis. I've been in this role 5 years. A huge thank you to the team on the call tonight. I'd say 90% of these resources, the alumni network, the global leadership certificate, culture of care, a fully executed youth protection program, the online training for advisors, none of this existed just 4 or 5 years ago. And so just really appreciative of the team and the enthusiasm with which the advisors and our students have accepted all of these new changes and additions. All right, everybody get that QR code snapped? All right.
All right, I know that you guys were trying to test us to see if we really could get done before 8 o'clock, even with you guys asking a lot of questions. But I'm happy to say we've arrived at the end of our presentation. We do have about 3 or 4 minutes here for a quick Q&A if you have anything important. I posted my email address earlier in the chat. Basically, the Kiwanis method of email is first initial and last name @kiwanis.org. So that's how you can find nearly all of us. My email address again, though, is mellis@kiwanis.org. So if you have something you want us to follow up on from tonight, shoot me an email. We'll be happy to do that, whether it's a general question or something specific for yourself. Anybody have anything they want to jump in on really quickly before we have to depart?
Ooh.
Yeah, Michael, quickly. Good to see you again, Michael.
Good to see you again too. Really quickly. You know that we have that the service clubs that get together every year for Kiwanis, and our regional governor from Rotary has started a project to recognize September as Service Clubs Month. So we're asking everybody to put in their correspondence, September is Service Club Month, because we're literally trying to get that recognized as a national recognition, okay? And that's all you have to do is just put in there September Service Club Month. KI is doing something internationally, and out here in our area, we're going to be partnering up with the Rotary Alliance, the Elks, and a bunch of other folks to try to take over Angel Stadium on that the September 1st. Well, we'll see if it works. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. September.
All right. Thanks, Michael. If you want to send me any information on that, I'll be happy to include that in either a future leadership corner in the newsletter, or we could post it on the website. We can figure out a way to get that going, because I do know Kiwanis has been participating.
Okay. Yeah, definitely can do that.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Going once and going twice for everybody else. All right. Thank you very much. It's good to see Michael and my friend Jeff Dimsdale, some of my folks I know from California. Good to see you guys. Thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. And we'll do this again in September, October. So see you then. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.